All right. Let's get this one. All right. Well, we're going to do this one more as like a little Q&A session because no Brandon today. Matter of fact, I don't think we're going to have Brandon all this week because he's out of town. And I think he's on a boat, which means they're not going to have any kind of reliable internet. So we'll just do kind of old school Q&A style. Besides, there isn't really much, there isn't anything great to talk about. I mean, you can go look at these markets right now. You'll notice everything is way down. Okay, well, why did it go way down? Because a couple of coordinated Bitcoin people started selling yesterday on a Sunday, which they always do, which if the Clarity Act was in place, all of these dudes would be indicted and be looking at having to go into federal court right now, because what they're doing is not right now illegal, but it definitely will be illegal maybe even a week from now if the Clarity Act comes through. But what most of these dudes are doing is they're selling a bunch of Bitcoin in order to tank the markets, and then they're making money off of the short plays on perps platforms and in derivatives. So it's right now not illegal. It's immoral, but it's not illegal. So, but of course, if you tank Bitcoin, then you take everything down with it. So just go right down the list. Oh, there's a surprise! Wow. Let's keep going. Let's XRP. No one cares. I'm glad to see Cardano out of the top 10. It deserves to be. Even Hyperliquid. Let's see. Oh, weird. Bam. You notice all no one was immune to this. Let's see, Matic. Well, it's 10 cents. What's the difference? Okay, so it just got hit a little bit, and then it's 10 cents. And I'm guessing that I would be willing to bet, yeah, the volume is probably pretty garbage. Wallet swap. Why would anyone trust a company called Wallet? Like, really? On BS. That's so funny. What a pile of crap. So there's just nothing going on, man. Anyway, Matic is just a dead thing. But just all across the board, you can kind of see it. Everybody got whacked because Bitcoin got whacked because a couple of douchebags decided to dump on a Sunday. I mean, there's nothing you can do until those guys are gone. There's just nothing you can do. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see. What was this little news? I get these little news flashes. Vitalik dumps more ETH more as ETH loses 2K. Well, let's see. At least ETH most retest of April low. Vitalik selling his Ethereum. It makes sense. Proceeds from such sales go towards funding projects and supporting the ecosystem. I don't think Vitalik selling Ethereum to fund new projects and networks and all this kind of stuff is really is the big deal. The big deal is that everybody is selling and no one cares to own this stuff. That's it. There ain't no magic. You don't need to look that far. Let me remove that one. All right. LinkedIn is not working. So no one wants to own this crap. So until that changes, nothing's going to change. And no, that's not price manipulation. None of this stuff is manipulation. Unless every transaction that's ever occurred is manipulation, none of it's manipulation. You guys get that, right? Like it's not manipulation. It's just you can do it. It's legal. When you're buying something, you're expecting it to go up. When someone is selling it, they're expecting that it's gone up as much as possible, or they just need cash really quickly. But mostly people selling something are selling it because they think that's it. So you can't both be right. So anyway, yeah. Stop. Anyway, yeah. So that's it. So more red markets. Why? Because no one wants to own crypto. Why? Because it's not interesting right now. Would you rather own crypto or AI or what? I mean, ain't nothing gonna change. So yeah. So it's amoral because they know they're doing a lot of damage and they're punishing a lot of people. But so what? I mean, okay, right? Like they're punishing a lot of people that are willingly in this market. So it's like, okay, all right. I mean, you say, how low will it go? Well, liquidations are what started is these guys know that it creates a bunch of liquidations. But we've known this forever. I mean, this used to happen every Sunday back in 2018. Every Sunday. It was just normal. We would get some Chinese investors would screw us over. I don't even know if there was Chinese investors. We always used to joke about that. But we would get screwed over every single Sunday. This ain't nothing new. There's no liquidity on Sundays. No one's paying attention. So they tank the markets and they make money on derivatives or perps. That's what they do. I'd probably do the same crap. If I had enough money, I'd probably do the same thing. And put yourself in their shoes. They're sitting on a bunch of Bitcoin, which everyone told them was going to be worthless, right? Oh, you're so stupid. Bitcoin, ha, you're such an idiot. You're so stupid. So they finally get a bunch of money and they're like, you know what? F you. I'm not so sure I completely am against it. I don't like it in the near term because it's frustrating, but let me look at a little news blurb. There was a little thing about how many people got whacked yesterday. Crypto funds shed $4 billion across 5-week negative streak. Okay. U.S. lender rate unveils mortgage program recognizing crypto holdings. That's good. Bitcoin traders diverge over BTC price strength. ACLX rallied following news that Gilead will acquire the biotech company in a multi-billion-dollar buyout. Well, that's not crypto. Let's see. Nothing really. Tether flashes Bitcoin bottom signal. Bitcoin, what? Oh, my guess is they're looking at Tether that's been created. Oh, that counterfeiting company is such a scam, dude. But anyway, Bitcoin may form a bottom in the coming weeks as Tether market cap dropped to levels that preceded BTC's 2022 bear market lows. Tether's USDT triggers a signal that last time preceded 100% Bitcoin rally. BTC price is testing major support zones. Let's see. On Sunday, Tether's 60-day market cap change was down 3.1 billion, revisiting a historically significant zone that aligned with Bitcoin's bear market lows. The only other time USDT's market cap declined by 3 billion in 60 days was in late 22, just as Bitcoin was carving its cycle bottom near 15,500 amid maximum fear and forced selling. We are on the fear and greed index, though. We are at maximum fear. We're at the maximum fear point. So that's good. Because when people are maximally scared, well, I mean, it's at a 5. I wonder how does it, if it gets to a 0, is that just total apocalypse? I wonder if that could even happen. Tether's market cap shed 1 billion over the past day, which has only occurred twice in history. Each episode coincided with local macro bottoms or sharp volatility in the price of Bitcoin. Major drops in Tether market cap typically reflect institutional or large holder exits from the market, which tend to occur near exhaustion rather than at the beginning of a sustained downtrend. The peak panic, wherever peak panic is. As such, Bitcoin odds of bottoming in the coming weeks may rise if Tether dominance trends lower and seller exhaustion is confirmed. I guess even people get tired of selling. Historically, the combination has preceded multi-month price rebounds, namely the 376% BTC rally between November 2022 and March 2024, and the 380% gains in 2018 and 2019. Well, that's only because Bitcoin got down to like 3,400. It got gutted. Anyway, that's when we first started doing our options training. It was in 2018, 2019, I think, the option show. Because we were... I'm trying to think. When was that? It was way back then because Bitcoin was less than 10,000. Yeah. That was back in the days. Back when you could get some Bitcoin. Okay. Former Binance business development executive Chase Guo said Bitcoin will reach new all-time high in 2026 due to liquidity, positioning, and evolving market mechanics. That means nothing. What he just said means nothing. Nothing. Fear and greed at 14. I read an article that said it was at 5. 5. Let's see. Here's the article. Bitmine immersion. They added 98 million of Ether last week. I think Strategy bought another so many Bitcoin. They bought some Bitcoin too. Strategy added 592 Bitcoin for 40 million in their 100th Bitcoin purchase. Let's see. U.S. Treasury may boost T-bill issuance as stablecoins eye a $2 trillion market cap. Interesting. Pantera leads. No one cares. Let's see. Where was the crap about all the crypto funds lose 288 million as exchange traded products extend outflow run to 5 weeks, which now makes it the longest outflow run in the history of exchange traded products. BTC treasury firms log rare selling streak as BTC trades below 66,000. Overnight crypto route reverses. Let's see. Bitcoin fell to 64.2. It's already, it's just kind of floating. So it's in between. It fell to 64.2 shortly after midnight UTC before rebounding. Thin liquidity amplified moves tied to a bunch of scumbags. Bitcoin looks busy, but 31% of its users vanished as ETFs bleed. Um, mm, no, I don't. I don't really see much. I mean, I'm trying to see where. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Here we go. Liquidations. Bitcoin's dropped below 65,000, triggered over 500 million in liquidations within about a 2-hour period. As macro uncertainty from, okay, first of all, none of what happened in crypto has anything to do with macro uncertainty. No one in crypto gives a flying fuck about tariffs at exactly 3:36 p.m. on a fucking Sunday. That's so stupid. But anyway, I get it. These guys have to write something and they have to give some reason. So it's going to be like, it's tariff uncertainty and geopolitics. No, it's two dudes selling Bitcoin, two ancient whales selling Bitcoin and fucking people. That's all this is. Like, they act like this is, just generally speaking, everyone got together at 3:30 yesterday and really felt that macro uncertainty. Bullshit. Stupid shit these guys write. That's why these fucking dudes have 6 jobs, because they don't have one real job, because they get paid $200 an article for this bullshit that they just pump out at GPT-5. Leading cryptocurrency fell 4.6. We don't care about all that. It fell from 67,600 to 64,400 in less than 2 hours during early Asian trading. Sudden collapses resulted in 505 million in liquidations across all assets over the past 24 hours. Bitcoin accounting for 232 million, Ethereum for 126 million. Bitcoin's currently trading around, it's exactly at 65,369. Downturn was not triggered by a sudden black swan event or unexpected negative news. It was driven by policy uncertainty. Bullshit. These guys are so stupid. It was absolutely triggered by a few people selling. How can you say something that stupid? Senior researcher at Hashkey. What a fucking idiot. Yeah. And the Supreme Court ruling finally getting. So it was yesterday at 3:30. It wasn't Friday when the Supreme Court ruling happened. It wasn't Saturday. It wasn't even yesterday morning. It was yesterday at about 3:30, 3:45. That's when this all really set in. That's when people were sitting at home and they just thought, you know what? This is it. All of this, I have so much macro uncertainty. I'm going to sell Bitcoin right now. Just Bitcoin, much as I can, just because of my macro uncertainty. This just been brewing since, get the fuck out of here. It's so stupid. You want to meet some of these dudes, these old keyboard commandos and shit. You want to meet some of these dudes sometime and be like, what the fuck are you guys, what goes through your mind? But it's nothing. They're just they're just wind vanes. Now I can't read any more of this guy's stuff because I know he's such a fucking retard. That's too bad. Okay, he's an idiot. There was a better article about the who knows, maybe they're just trying to bury it with other articles. This idea that hodlers have given up at 65,000. Bitcoin heads to the end of February on new local lows. Bitcoin sellers pile in at the weekly close, with consensus seeing rebounds ultimately failing. Geopolitics and inflation woes pile up for the global asset, with tariffs spoiling the mood. Jesus shit. Bitcoin whales dominate. Yeah. Bitcoin whales dominate exchange inflows. That's the whole fucking story right there. There is no other part of this story. Bitcoin whales dominate exchange inflow, meaning a bunch of people with a lot of Bitcoin that got it for dust are dumping it on exchanges. Why? To sell it. Okay, that's the fucking story. All this other stuff is bullshit. BTC price behavior continues to copy the 2022 bear market as viewed through on-chain data. But again, 2022 was caused by the collapse of FTX and a bunch of cash that was stuck. Anyway, this all started in October. I think no one knows, but I think it had to do with private credit. It was so fast and so damaging that it broke Binance. It's not a cycle. It's not something you can predict. It's not on a pendulum. It has nothing to do with any 4-year anything. Private credit fucking blew up October 6th. Less than 3 full days later, crypto blew up. Wow, it doesn't take a fucking genius to put those two things in the same room. Like, and what happened? Private credit has continued to unwind, and Bitcoin and crypto, but mostly Bitcoin and everybody else following along with it, has continued to unwind. So, like, it doesn't, you don't need, you don't need to, like, get a digital twin of Stephen Hawking's and go through and ask him, is this, what's going on? It's fucking obvious, stupid. So, yeah, anyway. Crypto market sentiment matches historic lows as the crypto fear and greed index hits just 5 out of 100. 5. That's what I was looking at. 5. Now let's go look. So someone just said that on CoinMarketCap it was at 14. I don't know. It doesn't look like it should be 14, but on here it says 14. I wonder if there's a graph over time. Yesterday, oh, it doesn't really show. Yeah, it doesn't. It would be neat if it showed a graph of the fear and greed index, but when you click on fear and greed, it doesn't do that. That's too bad. That would be cool. Oh, now I'm stuck on it. Shit. I can't get out of it. I'm stuck on fear and greed. There's no way out, man. Let me get back. Yeah. I'm stuck on fear and greed. Yeah. So that's where we're at. Yeah. Be careful about links and phone calls and airdrops and all this old stupid bullshit, especially when markets are down. People really fall victim to this. Someone fell for it again yesterday, gave someone private keys and all sorts of shit from a link in a Telegram group. Not ours, just a link in a random Telegram group. They ended up exposing their private keys and all that kind of stuff, and all that shit's gone. So, yeah, and now is not the time when the market's down. Now it's not the time where you want to be, parting ways with your crypto. Don't get robbed in a low. Well, I mean, I guess maybe it hurts less if if someone steals from you when the market's low. I don't know. It's bad. When does the feel good begin again? We've just had a miserable grind down. I guess it's not even frustrating. That's not the right word. I got to think of a good word, because markets go up, markets go down. It's not frustrating. Disappointing. It's disappointing. And again, because my speculation is that private credit and all that free available cash that was been using. Now look, crypto is not getting the bid it used to because of AI investment. That's pretty obvious, I think. But even if you back that out, when private credit started to unwind in October, I think a lot of available cash just went away. A lot of funds started getting blown up and stuff like that. So the crypto market starts melting down and melting down and melting down, and it just hasn't abated, and it's gone pretty much straight down, almost a full. We're just a shy away from a full 50%. Yes, Charlene, I know that CoinMarketCap shows that. That's what I was just reading from. Did you not pick up on that, Charlene? I was just reading from CoinMarketCap. Remember when I said I'm stuck on fear and greed and I can't get out? That's because the app makes you touch different buttons and stuff. Yes, that's where I was. I realized that. But the article I read said that it hit 5 yesterday there. So I was trying to reconcile those two numbers. So the disappointing thing about the crypto meltdown is that it doesn't really have anything to do fundamentally with cryptocurrency other than it's less interesting to invest in and there's less extra money and there's people dummying into the gold and silver trade. There's just 3 or 4 of those kind of issues which makes the crypto space unappealing. So that plus a lack of cash, a lack of capital, and people start selling and selling and selling, begets more selling and more cascading and more. And I don't know how people are so damn stupid that they keep taking leverage. Like who got nuked yesterday was $505 million worth of leverage. What the actual fuck is wrong with people? Quit fucking borrowing in a down market, you dumb motherfuckers. I know no one's hearing this except a few of us, but like, it boggles my mind because anybody taking leverage anywhere around here is calling the bottom. You want to call the bottom? Just say it. Write a number down on some paper, light it on fire, put some pig's blood on it, whatever your thing is. But don't take leverage, dummies. Like those people deserve to lose their money and all the money they're ever going to make in the future just for being stupid. And it's like, God, until the stupidity clears out of this market, I don't even know where people are getting money to take leverage. Like, who are all these Uber and Lyft drivers? What are they punting? $65 and taking 40x leverage? Maybe that's what it is. This kind of hopeless group that just straight up gambles. I mean, maybe this is the new normal. Always leverage with everything you've got. Always leverage. Yeah. Well, James, I'm cussing for you. It's either that or I don't do the show at all and I just let Brandon do it and I just focus on cinema where we are making where things do work. Will it? I don't know. That's the thing, Shelly. I don't know that it will. I think this may just be the new normal. So Bitcoin in the crypto space is just not all that sexy. It's just not sexy. Yeah. I mean, I think, well, to Kurt's point, I think you don't need to stay involved in crypto. There's nothing in crypto that's interesting. You need to stay involved in the macro economic news. I think that's where the macro is important and it gives you worldview. Once a day, look at your crypto prices. Once a week, sell your options. Make a little cash on the side. And just stay vicariously connected to the crypto space. I don't think, maybe we get a little pump out of this Clarity Act stuff if that happens this week, but I don't know. Seems like that will be under the dark and murky cloud of all this tariff bullshit. It's like the tariff inflation that everyone's scared of didn't happen. It did not happen. It didn't happen. I don't know what else to say. It didn't fucking happen. So all these people, tariff inflation. No, it did not happen. It has never, that's not the way inflation works. It just isn't. Inflation is a too many monies problem. Too many money. Say it, everyone. Inflation is too many money. Too many money. TMM. Inflation isn't some structural weirdnesses, imbalances, dislocations, or inequities between trading partners. There can be little offsets and price shocks here and there, but it doesn't create structural, consistent, continual, pervasive inflation. That's not how inflation works. Inflation is too much monies. That's it. People, these fucking economists try to reinvent math. Just make it up as they go. Reinvent it. Oh no, well, tariff inflation. What does that even mean? You might as well say beachfront inflation. What? Yeah, beach sand, water, sometimes sunlight, sometimes cloud. Inflation. What? It's that. It's that stupid. It's absolutely that stupid. Man, it's kind of the point now. I can't even. I have to turn my ears. I have to turn my brain off when I go somewhere, because you hear people talking and you realize that the average person is so fucking stupid. You're like, no wonder everyone loses, and because they lose, they just give up. They give up making their own decisions, and those that do invest, the very few that do have the luxury of investing because they have some extra money, they give their money to some 401k douchebag and punt their funds into the indexation monster. And by the way, let me clarify something up for you, fine gentlemen and ladies. You guys understand that with 401k, you guys understand that 401ks and IRAs and things like this, these structured products, the ones that will allow you to grow your money tax-free, grow it tax-free until you pull it out. You know that you're taxed when you leave, right? You're not taxed during. You're definitely taxed on the way out. Nothing is tax-free except a loan. You get that, right? I want to make sure everybody knows this. I have a lot of people that, oh, well, in my IRA, I have all this money. There's no tax. No. That's not what it means. It means you grow it tax-free. And then when you hit the exit, you pay the man. That's how it works. A lot of people are not clear about that. You should. You know, the guy that invented the 401k, like he went on CNBC and he said it's an awful system. I think he realized the passive indexation effect and all that. He did not. The guy that invented it felt real bad about it. And look that up too. Yeah, it costs more. But I mean, I guess the idea is if you can grow it tax-free, well, I guess the idea is if someone else is better than you, they can grow it tax-free. But yeah. Ouch. Yeah. Well, I don't know about the specific Roth IRA structure. But again, growing your money is tax-free. On the exit, I think they're all considered income. You don't get to go in free and exit free. There's no free lunch unless you borrow. Yes, deferred, tax deferred. So pay tax. No, Rafael, it depends on what you're going to do with. I'm not telling anybody what to do with their money. For many people, it's better just give it to someone else, let them fuck with it. But what I'm saying is, you want to know what the structure. Okay, yes, okay, then it's been taxed. You guys are missing the point of this conversation. The point of the conversation is you're not going to dodge the tax man unless you borrow. That's the only way out. The only way to get out for free is to borrow. Does that make sense? Borrow. All right. But you're going to get taxed one way or the other. Just keep that in mind. You don't get the tax deduction on Roth when you put the money in, but you don't pay taxes on the exit. Okay, but you still paid it. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, anyway, listen. Teaches well. I'll give you one example that you ought to look into. Is putting your assets, everything into a trust. You put everything into a trust. There's this is not just a trust. There's certain types of trust structures that you have that lets you can just borrow against it. You borrow against those assets. You don't sell the assets, right? And if you do, again, you can even offset the borrowing with like a life insurance policy, which you can borrow against that too. So there's different ways to kind of do this whole borrowing your way out thing. That's why these term life things are such a cool deal. And again, I'm vaguely understanding of their structure, but you put money in, they invest the money, and you can borrow against it. So, and the borrowing, obviously, you borrow, there's no tax on debt. And then the policy itself can pay off what you borrowed because of the policy. Anyway, yeah, that kind of stuff. But you can set up a trust, put your assets in the trust, borrow against the trust. Eventually you owe yourself. And that's the way you can go and have some fun. But you probably got taxed originally. I mean, you get taxed everywhere, but you probably got taxed originally when you're putting money in those directions. Like, and here's another thing, kind of related, kind of unrelated. If you put a house into a trust, make sure you go back to your insurance provider and make sure it's ensuring that the owner of the house is not you anymore, that it's the trust. Because a lot of people that had their houses, understandably, in the Palisades that burnt up last year, those houses had been put into trust funds. The insurance companies had not been informed of the new owner, and therefore the insurance company was insuring a person. The person no longer owned the house. The trust owned the house. And because the trust owned the house, the trust didn't have an insurance policy with the insurance company. So the insurance company said, fuck you, we're not paying. And it's legit. Now, I'm sure there's a bunch of litigation going on, but basically the insurance company said, Bubba, when you sold your house to the trust or transferred it to the trust and you didn't get another insurance policy, the trust having to get an insurance policy, you no longer own the house. So you don't have a claim on it. Anyway, some of the insurance companies probably honored some of these deals, but a lot of them didn't. That was a big deal. That's still a big deal. It's being litigated. But don't get into that quagmire. So if you transfer assets that you want to insure into a trust, you need to call your insurance company and say, hey, my trust now owns these assets. The trust needs to set up an insurance policy. That's a separate thing. Make sure you do that. Make sure you do it. All right, man, we've really gone on some tangents today. Yeah, borrow. Man, the last check I write is going to be to the mortician, and it's going to bounce. Let's see. Shouldn't the entity that told people to put their house into a trust have advised the original owners about this? Yeah, I'm sure they should have, but a lot of times that entity is just you and a lawyer and a couple of forms that you sign. Lawyers aren't going to go out and get insurance for you and all that crap. You gotta mess with all that. You tell someone, hey, I'll put my assets in a trust. Yeah, okay. I mean, again, I don't know that that's poor lawyering. I think it's poor trusting. Yes, that was a double entendre. You're welcome. You get that one for free. You can use it all day today. If you borrow against your trust, don't your heirs have to pay it? Heirs. No, that's why you can use, well, someone has to pay it, but again, the trust can sell assets against the debt. The trust can, you can have an insurance policy levered against any debt that you write. So, yeah. And also, Shelly, what do you care? When you're dead, what do you care what happens to the rest of it? As long as the cats are fed, man. We live in a crazy world, do we not? All right. Isn't a way to avoid paying taxes having a charitable remain? Well, I don't know about the charitable trusts and all that. I don't know the structure. I don't know all the different trust structures. There's a guy that, he's a pretty sharp dude. If you guys want to ask trust questions, look up Pennington Law Firm. Pennington, like Pennington. 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 Can I have the word in a sentence? Yes. There's a lawyer named and it's either Andre or Andrew Pennington. He has Pennington Law Firm, and they do trusts and all these kind of things. Did you get your cats a rage room? You mean a place to just flip shit? That's my whole house is their rage room, which makes it my rage room. Like I'll tell you what, one of the big kitty, where is that son of a bitch? Oh, that son of a bitch. He went and he jumped up on the counter and he tore up all of my car registration. He just thought they were fun to chew on. So he chewed through all the car registration documents. So the ones that you scan to pay registration. And he chewed the barcodes and he chewed the QR codes. The whole damn thing was just like confetti. Yeah, clever son bitch. He a clever son bitch, he is. Anyway, Pennington. Yeah, Pennington. Andre, yes, Pennington. He's awesome. He's a hell of a feller. And they'll give you like a consultation, like a free consultation. And then it's like a 15-minute phone call, but it's cool. It's 15 minutes where they'll be like, hey, listen, is this something for you or not? You just say, I'm trying to do this. Can I do this? Bam. So they're good people. There's good people over there. And if they say who recommended you, say Nick Black. Not because I'll get anything out of it, but, you know, he's pretty cool. He does some cool content. Every now and then I'll see him even on Instagram doing little videos and stuff. He's pretty cool. Pretty cool dude. Plus he's got tattoos. I like people with tattoos. Anyway, that's about it there. Other than that, other than a bunch of idiots getting nuked, not really much left other than that to talk about. I think we done talked it. Let's see. Here's a different topic. Anyone know at what point you can buy Medicare? Isn't it the year you turn 65? Actually said, I don't know about that. Ink is tasty. I guess so. I don't know if it was the color. I don't know what it was. I don't know. I'm as yet undetermined why that was so delicious for them. Anyway, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let me see. Let me look at my... I'm not going to say anything specific. Oh, by the way, kind of on a cool note, you know, all these people are anti-AI, and AI in filmmaking is something that we're, participating in. And Snoop Dogg just came out with a video, and they use C-Dance, which is like one of the models. Everybody, all these people in Hollywood are like, no, AI is terrible. AI is bad. Right. But you're okay with spell check. You're okay with all these financial tools. You're okay with using AI every time you drive to work because you don't know where the streets are on your own. You're okay with AI everything except what? Oh, you mean the three things that might take your job? Oh, you're not okay with those. Got it. Oh, okay. Got it. This is such good humanitarian. Anyway, so Snoop Dogg just did a whole video with AI. Whole video. Which, is it great? No. But does it look visually good? Yeah, looks fine. So, okay, it's kind of funny. Snoop Dogg, he's doing his Snoop Dogg thing, whatever. So yeah, there you go. So here we go. I'm not going to give you any specifics because that would be for the options group and stuff like that. But let me just check. I'm just grinding out a little bit of money each week, just selling some calls against ETH. I own a lot of it because I like, I like some Ethereum. Let's see. Oh, 1 to 2 cents, man. I could buy that sucker back. Anyway, yeah, just selling calls. That's it. Nothing magic. No fancy schmancy here. Just doing what everyone else is doing. Just waiting. Just waiting. Well, no, I mean, you can sell calls. You just can't sell them at the price that you want. You can go closer to the current price. I know that everybody's waiting for a rebound and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, you can always go further out in time. Okay, you can find something. If you go far enough out in time, you can find something that's close. But does anybody expect a rebound, a big rebound right now, other than of 2 to 3% or 5%? You shouldn't. I expect that the Clarity Act will create some positive momentum. And I expect that the damage that was caused just yesterday could be unwound because nothing happened yesterday except a couple of whales selling and a bunch of assholes getting liquidated. So could that melt back up? Could we get this 3.5% back from last week? Yes. That doesn't materially change things. At the end of this week, if Clarity Act makes some progress or whatever, could that be good, motivating, fun? Sure. Yeah. And look, you can't have it both ways. If you want to grind income, then sell a little bit closer. You basically look at the market and say, okay, I don't imagine it's going to do a 20% jump. Like what would cause a 20% move? Clarity Act? I don't know. 20%? That's unlikely. 10%? Okay, could have a 10% day or a 10%, few days. So you factor that in and say, okay, if Ethereum went up 20%, where would it be? Is 20% this week likely? No. So if it went up 20%, then what would that make ETH? Well, if ETH is $14, that'd make it another $2.80. So that would make it $16.80, right? So you could probably safely sell the 1650s, the 17s, not get jammed up. State of the Union's tomorrow. Who knows? Yeah. God. Yeah. I don't think it's going to make a difference for crypto. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah, don't stress. I mean, don't trade on leverage. Don't trade on leverage. Oh, that's game. We're not talking game theory today, but I'll give you the basic premise. It's that in game theory, you can have kind of this example, the cannibals example, kind of outlines two different things. It outlines that when you have a big group of people, that group tends to act in an insane way. IQ as a group size increases, IQ aggregates down. It seems like lower even than the average. And it also illustrates that people don't employ game theory, probably part of that low IQ thing. It also employs. It also kind of highlights that game theoretical outcomes can look very weird and be very counterintuitive, right? So the basic assumption is you have the hiker, and the hiker, is lost and hungry and is going through the forest, and all of a sudden comes upon a campfire and a cannibal. It's a cannibal at the campfire. And so the hiker's like, man, I want to get warm and I'm very cold. And so if the hiker joins the cannibal at the campfire, what is the outcome? The cannibal is going to eat him. Hiker dead. So one cannibal, dead hiker. Now, if the hiker shows up and there's two cannibals, it's not so clear. Because see, if one of the cannibals eats the hiker, then the other cannibal will eat the cannibal, right? Because he's now all worn out. Plus he's got all that good sustenance. He just ate that hiker. Look at this big fat cannibal right here. I'm just going to eat this cannibal. Everybody got to eat, right? So you know now that when there's one cannibal and one hiker dead. When there's two cannibals, there's mutually assured destruction. Therefore, the hiker is safe. Okay? So now you can do the math. And if they are doing math too, and if everybody is a rational player, which I'm not expecting all cannibals to be rational, but if everybody's a rational player and they're looking at this and they count, then anytime you have an odd number of cannibals, the hiker is dead. And anytime you have an even number of cannibals, the hiker survives. If each of the cannibals does the math and says, wait. Well, it's not a treaty. It's the reality of the numbers, right? And it's that if the cannibals recognize a situation where there's an even number of them, they can't eat the hiker. Because if they do, that starts a progression of cannibal eats hiker, cannibal eats cannibal, cannibal eats cannibal, cannibal eats cannibal, until there's only one left. That makes sense? So, yeah. Anyway, and it's a kind of a thought experiment. It's like, the thing, we talk about the snakes, the cobra, the game theoretical, the cobra story in Bangladesh. When the British went in, there was like a problem with cobras. And so they issued a cobra bounty so that people would bring us some dead cobras and we'll pay you. So they brought a cobra in and they got paid. Bring another cobra, get paid. Well, you can see where this probably went. People started farming cobras, ranchers. I'm a cobra rancher. They would start growing cobras, farming them, and then whacking them over the head and taking them in to collect their bounty. And so then the British government was like, Jesus, these inscrutable Indians have outwitted us again. They've just been farming cobras. So they said, okay, that's it. The cobra bounty is over. We're no longer paying for cobras. So the ranchers said, fine. And they freed all the cobras. They're like, well, we don't need to bonk you over the head. You're not worth any money. Go free, cobras, go free. Now, the cobra problem is 5 times as bad as it was. There's so many more cobras. So it was the unfortunate but very obvious game theoretical result of an effort at an extinction that went wrong, painfully, horribly wrong. The British don't always think ahead. When they do, they drink Dos Equis. So yeah, game theory is really cool. It's a very sobering way to look at situations that might seem at first complex, and they're not. Like when I use ChatGPT, I have it answer me in game. Every discussion I have with ChatGPT is game theoretically resolved. So it answers me with a context of game theory, and it tells me, like in any single, all of them. Well, it's ever since I've had it. It's a pretext I put on it. If I go in even something, any of my chats, if I go over here, even the one that's servicing my racing, because I do on my simulator, I use the chat, I use GPT, and I tell it, it set up my training program. And then after each run, I give the details of the race, of the practice session. And then it tells me, are we going to stay on this track, go to other tracks, and it asks me a series of questions. Let's see. So like yesterday when I gave it my lap times for my run, which I had a bunch of spin outs and stuff, but I did set some fast laps. But it would go, okay, you chose chaos early, you reset, you rebuilt, you stabilized, you ran these laps, That is not volatility. It's pace moving once you're settled, dissecting this properly. And then it goes into my spins, my resets. And then it says, that's classic input noise from a destabilized start. Then you slow down deliberately, you recentered, rebuilt rhythm. But the way it answers me, I have it answer me game theoretically, right? And so, like, it's even like the problem you're fighting isn't speed, because I had some spin outs in a weird turn. It says the problem you're fighting is not speed, it's front loaded volatility. When the sessions start chaotic, you compress your precision. When your resets build, your precision widens. The shift now is consistency through session starts. The only thing separating you from race pace is clear and consistent performance in early laps in a training session. But it's all of this stuff's game theory based. In any question I ask it, any question, like I can even, this would be a good question. I can ask, when I ask you a question, explain to me how you imply game theory to my answers. Because you can, with ChatGPT, you can put like a subtext where it thinks about. So it's like, it said, I don't literally run equations every time, but I structure answers using strategic interaction logic. Here's how that works at a high level. I identify the players. Whenever you ask something, business, negotiation, investing, creative, identify who are the decision makers, who has optionality, who has leverage, who has asymmetric information. And even if you don't mention them explicitly, I map that ecosystem. Example, if you're asking about pricing the cash system for studios, the players aren't just you in a studio, it's you, competing agencies, rival studios, future bidders, investors that are watching, which changes your optimal moves. And then the second thing is I infer incentives, which are payoff structures. Game theory starts with incentives. I literally ask, what does each player really want? What are the downside risks? What are their time preferences? Are they optimizing status, money, safety, reputation, or control? A studio might want innovation, but they really want risk reduction, predictable return on investment, a competitive moat. This framing shifts from cool AI tool to variance compression mechanism. So if you start thinking in these terms and you want to grow the way you think in these terms, you can preset GPT to talk to you in these terms. Does that make sense? It's pretty cool. Let's see. How does this help you drive better? Does it work like driving? It's a full driving coach and everything. So it can determine from lap times where I am competing. Like there's a maximal speed that these cars can go at, and there is a limit to what these cars can do given the constraints of tires on a track and the cars, right? So you know that there is a limit. This is as fast as it can go based on certain cars. Then it can say, okay, you're 3 seconds off the pace. What is your split time from turn 1 to turn 3? And you can look those up, the exact times. I say this, and this. And then it can say, okay, well, clearly you're losing time in the first half of the track. Let's figure out where. Are you driving against the driving line? Yes. Are you following the braking suggestions? Yes. And then it will say, okay, let's observe these turns by making sure that you're going full braking first, make your downshifts, let off the throttle, then make your braking, then make your turning input versus doing all of it at once. You do all of it at once. If you're in a turn and you downshift, that's engine braking. The car can skip out on you. If you're in a turn, downshifting and braking, now you're shifting weight to the front end, taking weight off the rear end, locking up the rear tires, increasing tire heat. So then the rear end will step out again. So now you're twice letting the rear end like go. So you want to have made all your decisions and then have a smooth steering input, all of that before you even start steering. So you make your downshifts, complete your braking cycle, and then as you're coming off the brake, you don't just let off the brake. As you're coming off the brake, you start to decide what your throttle input's going to be, even if it's no throttle, but your steering has to be clear and consistent. So all of these things happen, all of it right as you enter a turn. And then the rest of it is how you unwind the steering, how you reapply your throttle as you let off the brakes, and then you have to make your shifting decisions. So it helps you do all that, especially when I made the transition from using automatic to paddle shifting. It takes a minute. You feel very sloppy and crappy, but then you realize that you do have more control, and yeah. So it's a lot of stuff. I don't even know what double clutching is. I don't think in race cars that's a thing. Let's see. Considering giving me M850i drive heavy, but that's the one that's kind of like the I think, Scott, if I'm right, that's the one that's kind of like the Rolls-Royce Spectre. It's not quite, but it's kind of on that, like the same kind of chassis design, something like that. If that's the one I'm thinking of, it's a big monster, but it's pretty badass. Okay, yeah, double clutch. Yeah, I don't. Let's see. I tried paddle shifting in Volkswagen and had a very difficult time since I had no stick shift experience. Paddle shifting is weird. Paddle shifting's tricky, especially. Well, we don't have to get into it, but paddle shifting is tricky, but it's also very important. And if it's got auto blip, just like it gets into an issue like when you're downshifting, but you have high RPM on the engine. You don't want to. Well, one, you don't just explode the transmission out of the back of the car, but so blip will kind of reconcile the difference in RPMs between the different downshifts, so that it just doesn't go rip, right? And so those kinds of things are nice. There's a lot that's going on. It's closer to the Bentley Continental. Oh, okay. But yeah, it's faster because you have a little more control. Automatic is good, and I would even say automatic is almost great. And I would also say that automatic will be better when some of these AI tools are better implemented. One of the cool things that the new Ferrari Testarossa does, it's called the 5 system, but it's Ferrari's interactive viewing thing. Anyway, it creates a synthetic, a simulated version of your car a few tenths of a second out in front of your car, and it has cameras and all this kind of stuff, and it reads. So it's taking information from the simulated car and implying some decision making back to your car in real time, which is pretty awesome. So anyway, that comes out with the Testarossa that's supposed to launch this year, but we'll see. I mean, it is launching this year, but like we'll see when they start building them. Anyway, yeah. Paddle shifting 911 makes sense more than a daily car. Yeah. Well, I mean, I even though I had I had an electric car. I had a EQE AMG, the Mercedes electric, the E-Class electric, but the AMG one, I paddle shifted that one, and it was electric. You're like, why would you even? Because you can. It's fun. But we shouldn't be paddle shifting at all, in the same way that you don't power brake. You're not like touching your foot 100,000 times a second and all that kind of crap. We're not doing that. We shouldn't even be shifting. We should be pointing, stabbing the throttle, and as long as we're on the correct driver's line, that should be enough. I should not have to shift anything. I should point, stab the gas, stab the brake, and occasionally do some trail braking to rotate the car. That's it. Anyway, yeah. And then probably trail braking could be automated too. In a turn, the car could know from lateral forces that you're in a turn, and it should be able to do the amount of trail braking you need to rotate the car. And then you're like, well, at a certain point, it'll just drive the cars. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Where do you draw the line, right? Anyway. All right. Well, yeah. All right. We've dithered. We certainly dithered today. We dithered with the best of them. Okay, so if Ethereum is 2,400 tomorrow, we'll do a Tuesday show. If not, I'll see you Wednesday. And so 2 things, don't let these markets depress you. Just don't. Just don't. And because no point. Don't get depressed over stuff you have no control over. It is actually insanity to let yourself be frustrated by things that are outside your control. You can be disappointed in them, but don't let it affect your mood. Because unless you're planning on retiring today, it doesn't mean anything. It just doesn't mean anything. So who cares? Who cares? All right. And also be very careful. Don't expose your private keys, your passwords, passphrases to anyone ever for any reason. Everybody's trying to steal your shit all the time. Text messages, chats, all of it. Everybody wants to steal your shit. Do not let them. Hey, I mean, I've gotten jacked 2 times. One for like 100K or something, but once, although it wasn't me, it was indirectly. It was through an intermediary. It was through an escrow agent or whatever. But I lost $1 million in one morning. Get over it. Just get over it. Move past it. Giving anything. If you get hit, if whatever happens, like, do not give it any emotional investment. Crooks are gonna crook. People are gonna do sketchy shit. They'll get their comeuppance. Very rarely do crooks get rewarded their entire life. Right? Very rarely. So just learn from it, bounce back. All right? Okay. See you guys Wednesday. So stay in school, don't do drugs, don't do anything about porn, solve a drunk, sugar and meth grandmother. What Brandon wouldn't do. It's gonna be 80 something degrees here today. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right. See you guys Wednesday.